tears that fall on bended knee, but breathing out and breathing in, it's God in me that lives and breathes, my trusted friend. My life is a prayer that God is praying. My thoughts are words that God is saying. My laughter is the sound of angels playing. My life is a prayer that God is praying. What if today I had the chance to move and sway? God leads the way in my life's dance. What if I knew without a doubt, no need to fear, God's right here within, without. My life is a prayer that God is praying. My thoughts are words that God is saying. My laughter is the sound of angels playing. My life is a prayer that God is praying. My life is a prayer that God is praying. My thoughts are words that God is saying. My laughter is the sound of angels playing. My life is a prayer that God is praying. My life is a prayer that God is praying. My life is a prayer.
My life is a prayer that God is praying. Amen. Amen. And how is it we know that that's true? From our opening statement. And if you'll say that along with me, which is in your bulletin, and together, because there is only one presence, one power, and one activity, God, the good, omnipotent. So we know our life is the prayer that God is praying. And as we come together today to say the prayer for our church, let's keep in mind our church mission, which is to love the soul, to light the mind, to lift the heart, and to heal the body. And if you will say with me together our prayer for our church, bless the work of our church, O Lord. Let our ideals be true. Let our efforts be helpful. Let our words be filled with healing. Let our attitude be joyful. Let the stranger find true welcome and remain as friend. For the Father draws his beloved to this place in his name. Let the love and understanding among all people establish peace in our world. Father, Mother, God, we thank you. And as we hold a person or two, or any being actually, maybe a pet, any loved, beloved thing, as we hold it within our prayers, before we say our prayers for someone else, let's release any thoughts of lack on their behalf and know and see that they are whole and they are full. And also, let's not picture what we feel the outcome of the prayer should be, but simply that they will live their spiritual journey. They will live their human experience in the highest and perfect good. And as we do so, if you will say with me our prayer for others together, as I behold the Christ in you, I see you happy, healthy, prosperous, loving, and beloved, going forth joyously to meet your good. And if you will join us in singing the hymn, along with our wonderful Jerry and Kate, who is here on this day, and it is God is my source on this cream-colored sheet on the back of I Choose Love.
We're going to change the words a little bit, but I'll cue you. God is my source, God is my power, God is everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God is everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God is everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God is everything I need. Now love is my source. Love is my power. Love is everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love is everything I need. Now joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy is everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy is everything I need. Now peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace is everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace is everything I need. Now back to God. God is my source. God is my power. God is everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God is everything I need. God is everything I need. One more time. God is everything I need.
Thank you. Beautiful. So, do we have any guests here or someone who's joining us for the first? Welcome. Welcome.
I'm visiting from Unity Nashville.
Oh, wonderful. I've met a few people from Unity Nashville. Good to have you. I'm not sure if you've received one of our welcome packets. Our usher is giving it to you, and all the new faces, so glad to have you within it. And you're probably familiar being in Unity, but you have our daily words. You know what that is, but it's our template actually of our so many people know Unity via our unity, our daily word, and a welcome package. And if you'd like to also be on our mailing list, there's a card in there that you can fill out, and if you'll give it to the usher, we'll make sure that you get our emails and such. But thank you for coming here today. Wonderful. Now, we have so many announcements. I'm not going to read them all. You have them on the yellow sheet, and you also have quite a few that are on the back of your program. But some I do want to highlight. This coming Saturday, August 16th, I'm going to be conducting a workshop. I am Stephanie Bush-Mann. I'm the licensed Unity teacher for Unity Church of Christ. And Reverend Rebecca Galati, who is our minister, is on vacation. So today I am really blessed to be able to share this service with you, but then also a workshop that will be taking place on Zoom next Saturday beginning at 10 o'clock. We'll be talking about affirmative prayer, and you'll get an idea for those of you who may be new, both those who are with us here in the sanctuary and those who are joining us virtually, about what affirmative prayer is for those of us in Unity, and whether you are new to Unity or you've been a student of Unity for decades, just reminding and going through this experiential workshop can really be fun and enlightening. So if you are interested, there is, you just let us know in the office to just call, or if you're here, you can let me know. There is a special Zoom link, so you will need to advise me, and I'll be able to provide that to you. We'll start at 10. We'll probably be finished at about 12:30. I realize it's a summer Saturday in August, but trust me, this will take you through all of the seasons of your life and this year. And there's a suggested love offering, but do know it is just suggested. This is my gift to you. So if you feel that you want to give later or not at all, your presence is all that is important. So please come and accept this gift. Then on August 17th, Kindness Rocks. So Sunday after the service in our great room, which is here in the church, our own Mark Petrosino is going to be helping us to prepare Kindness Rocks for an upcoming social action outing at Cooper River for out in the park where we're resurrecting a hug booth. And that will be, I believe it's September 17th, and that's on your yellow sheet. And September 7th, I'm sorry, at Cooper River Park in Cherry Hill. And it will be right after church, though some people will be there setting up while we are in church. So even as they're setting up, if they want to stream on Facebook Live or look at it later, and it will be the hug booth to unite South Jersey's LGBTQA+ community in celebration of their 17th annual Out in the Park Pride Festival. So we're going to be there giving hugs. On September 6th, we're going to have our groundskeeping. So many hands, as Reverend Rebecca said, makes for light work. So if you'll come anytime between 9 and 12, if you can stay the whole time, that's wonderful. Even if you can stay an hour, just where we're weeding and doing the things in our yard. We don't have to cut the grass, but we do take care of all of the other beautiful aspects of this. On September 10th, World Day of Prayer is Wednesday at 7 p.m., and that will be in person and on Facebook Live. And it will be still and no. On September 13th, you can tell when the summer's rolling, right? Because September shows up and everything starts happening. So we have a prayer potluck breakfast and tent revival. This will be that Saturday, 8:30 to 12. And the tent revival is when we're putting the tents up and the chairs and the tables, because the very next day, Sunday, September 14th, we'll be having an annual Friendship Sunday and church picnic. And that's right after service at 11 o'clock until about 2 o'clock. And so we bring potluck both for the picnic as well as the day before. And it's really a wonderful time. So all are invited. You're invited to bring yourselves, to bring any friends you may have to service and to the picnic. But really just a good time to get to know more about Unity and to know about this Unity community. Also, we have some ongoing social action programs. One is the Interfaith Homeless Outreach Council, We previously called it lotions and potions when we did it around the holidays. Now we do it on a regular basis. As you come in the front door, facing you as you come in the front door, you see a sign, and you'll see people are putting together bags of different items. There's lists out there of what's needed, and so whether you're like shopping or you're collecting things or you go to hotels, they have those little shampoos, but you brought your own, or soaps, these are always good. And then actually they're distributed through an interfaith relationship. And then Critter Corner. So as you come in the front door and make that hard right, you will see where it says Critter Corner. And this is where we are collecting items for all sorts of animals and pets, whether they be hamsters, snakes, horses, cats, cows, whatever, anything. Turtles, whatever it is. But whatever you may have at home or decide you'd like to purchase and bring in, what we're going to be doing, and we've already given some to an animal shelter, but even if you know someone who may need a bit of assistance, oftentimes people have pets and they may go through a difficult time economically and may need a little bit of food, or they may have just gotten a kitten and may need bedding or whatever it is. We will be sharing this. So please, there's a list out there where you can volunteer, but also if you tell me, if you know, because I'm leading that particular social action, that if you will let me know of someone who may be in need, and I see our things are building up, so it's really great. So I believe that is it for now, and there's many more that you can read probably on your bulletin. And if you've not signed up, if you reach out to the church and send your email address, you will get what we call our e-blast that comes out each week, about Thursday, that has everything listed, and then you're able to then just stay in the know. So with that being said, we will now have our daily word reading by our beloved Kathy.
Good morning. Today's daily word is prayer, which comes from Sunday, April 4th, 2021. And our affirmation is, in prayer, I recognize God's all-providing presence. This affirmation can be found on the inside cover of your bulletin, so let's affirm that together. In prayer, I recognize God's all-providing presence. In prayer, I seek to align my will with the divine to claim the love, strength, and understanding of God. My prayer times are moments of deep connection, surrender, and trust, where I feel completely enfolded in the divine love and peace. I bring my prayerful awareness to my day. I see the glory of God reflected in the beauty of nature and in the majesty of the universe. I find God's love reflected in simple acts of respect, kindness, and friendship, in the joy of loving relationships. My prayer blesses me throughout each day. It helps me recognize that wherever I am, God is. In prayer, I affirm all the qualities of God are part of my divine inheritance. At the level of spirit, I have everything I need, no matter what is happening in my life and in the world. Our Bible verse is from Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 17. Pray without ceasing. And again, together, our affirmation. In prayer, I recognize God's all-providing presence.
Thank you. So let me ask you, have you ever prayed for something so hard, like, please, Lord, please, 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 let me have it, and I promise, if I get this, what it might be the job, it might be a relationship, it may be looking for more money. And you just do it, and you say, okay, that's it. It's almost like today's time. You do an email, you push send, and you let it go out into the spiritual cosmic, and then you're waiting for a tracking number. You're waiting to see where it is. Anybody ever do that? Pray hard and just send it out there? Anybody, or is it just me? Okay. And how many of us have also prayed, please, 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 feeling separate and detached from that to which we are praying? Anybody? I have. One thing I want to say is however you pray that works for you is a good way for you to do it. But what I am sharing today is how we do it in unity, how it is suggested, how unity was actually a foundation of it. So we're treating prayer not as if it's a cosmic request form. We're learning something that is really freeing, radically freeing, that prayer isn't about convincing God. It's about consciously aligning ourselves with the truth, the capital T, those principles that never change, always are, always will be. We're aligning it with the truth that already exists. So today I want to talk about it is already done, the truth of answered affirmative prayer. So what we do in our affirmative prayer, we don't beg for healing. We affirm our wholeness, our natural state that we know exists. We don't plead for supply. We declare our abundance and prosperity. We don't wait to be loved. We recognize that love lives in, through, and as us. And that's the answer for affirmative prayer. We already know it exists. As Charles Fillmore, one of the co-founders of the Unity movement, said, "The moment we pray believing, we receive." Notice he said, the moment we pray believing, we receive. So we're not begging or asking, we're believing and knowing that it is going to happen, that it already has happened. And we're just opening our consciousness for alignment to what that happens to be. So in unity, our prayers, our affirmative prayers, are rooted in faith and the recognition of spiritual law. We are not praying to change God's mind. You ever thought in the past when you're praying that you're trying to, like, God's going this way and you're asking God to go that way? You know, God, this person in heaven? And then we begin in unity to learn heaven is within us, and God is spirit, God is divine mind, God is principle, whatever name or no name you choose to call this energy that always was, is, and will be, that we're not changing its mind. We're praying to change our own consciousness. We're praying to change our own awareness, our perspective, what we're seeing, knowing, and feeling. So affirmative prayer speaks from truth, not fear. It declares God is, and that's what we said in our opening statement, right? God is. There is only one presence, one power, and that's God, good omnipotence. And also, I am one with God. We are all made in the image of God, creator, divine mind. So, all that God is, I am. I am in my spiritual consciousness, my Christ consciousness, my oneness with the Creator. My good is always present in spiritual form. So it may be that I'm not quite seeing it out here in the human realm exactly yet, but it's in spiritual form, it already exists because creation happened a long time ago. And so some would argue that what we're doing is just unfolding, taking the layers of the onion off to see what is truly ours. And I give thanks now. I give thanks because of the realization that which I seek, I'm actually claiming because it is already there. And by me being thankful, I energize it to occur and to show its presence, its outshowing in my human existence. So this is not denial of our circumstances. It's an affirmation of a greater reality. It may be that you are in a job, a relationship that you do not like, you want out, and you are praying. So it's not denying that that's existing, but it is aligning your awareness, your perspective, your spiritual being with what is for mine to do. What are the ideas that I will have that is my responsibility to formulate, to create, and then to do? These spiritual laws, as I said, they don't change. Just like the law of gravity in the physical realm. We know that at least on Earth, if you throw something up, it's coming down unless something caught it up in the air. And so we know that is a reality. That is in the physical realm, that is a law. Like Charles Fillmore also said, prayer is the most accelerated mind action there is. So it means when we're praying, we're not just being dormant, we're just not being inactive, but we're accelerating, we're doing something. Oftentimes we think to do something, we have to be moving, right, and talking and all of this. But it is so accelerated. We're getting it all going. We're connecting with the divine. And so one of these spiritual laws is the law of mind action, which is one of our principles. And that is that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. So what does that mean? That means what I'm thinking is very likely, if not always, going to create the lens by which I am feeling, seeing, and then actions I may or may not take. Have you ever even in your thoughts, somebody says something to you, or you think they said something to you, and you create this whole story in your mind, this whole story, they blah, 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 and then all of a sudden you get the real story, they weren't even talking to you. But we come up with the attitude, and of course what? To every action there's a reaction, right? So we go up and we've got this, so then why is she frowning at me? Well, maybe because I'm frowning, and in my mind I've got this story, they done me bad. So when we have to be conscious of what our thoughts are. That's part of what meditation is, but that's also something we should do throughout the day all of the time. Because when we're praying in particular, if we are praying from a sense of lack, a sense of insufficiency, we're energizing that lack. If we're saying, dear Lord, I don't have enough money, please, 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 we're energizing that lack. When we pray from gratitude, we are aligning ourselves, our consciousness, with the flow. And I like to see the flow as coming one way, and that's from my inside out, my inner self out, my connection of who I truly am to the outside, as opposed to going against the current, which can be when I get all my cues from the outside and then try to bring that in and have all of this confusion. But we also affirm our wholeness. Even if we are facing challenge, we tap into the healing vibration that already exists. For a whole nother lesson, just the vibration, everything is vibration. We look at things as being physical like a chair, but it's all these atoms and neutrons, it's all vibration. And we can tap into it. We can also impact that vibration with negativity. So when we really think about it, answered prayer is not about magic. It's not about hocus pocus. It's about aligning your consciousness with the truth of who you are and your connection with God, the one, the divine. There was a story shared with me. And sometimes stories are shared, maybe true or maybe not, but it's meaningful. And this was about a woman who would call silent unity. And for those who may be new to unity, silent unity's been around for more than 100 years. And 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you are able to pick up your phone and call, and someone will answer, and they will pray with you on whatever you need for prayer to be. So it's reported that a woman had called silent unity, and she was calling because her adult son had been battling addiction for years. And she had prayed and prayed until she got to the point she did not know what to pray for anymore. And the person on the other end from Silent Unity guided her through an affirmative prayer. And that affirmative prayer was this: I release him into God's care. I trust divine wisdom is working in and through him. I let go and I let God. And as she did, she prayed this daily, because we don't just pray once, right? We don't just open a book, read the first chapter, say, oh, good book, and put it away forever. We keep going back. She prayed it daily, but she now was doing it, just as we said in our prayer for others. not to determine what would be his outcome and not to even change them. But she did this to release her own anxiety and align herself with her inner peace. Months later, her son did enter into a treatment program, and he did this on his own will and volition. For those of us who have been in circumstances like this, you know, you can push people, right? But the more you push, they push back. You have to let go, let God, and step back. And he went in, and she said, though, that the real miracle wasn't his change, but it was her own peace returning to herself. So we see that the answer to her prayer came to her spiritually, came to her emotionally, and practically. And it began the moment she affirmed divine order. I love looking at the scriptures, you know, and there was years ago that I would like, I don't want to look at the Bible. It's written a long time ago, way before me, not relevant to me, etc. And then when I found unity, I realized, wow, what the Bible and the scriptures was all about. And it's really providing stories and characters and people, some of which are true, some of which have been tweaked, some of which have been very much created, but they all have a lesson I can take when I look into inner, deeper meanings. Some of called like metaphysical meanings, like I said, it's like looking at Star Wars or whatever, when you're going in and what's happening even deeper. But this very simple one, Isaiah 65th chapter 24th verse. Before they call, I will answer. While they are yet speaking, I will hear. What it says to me is God is not separate from me. God is not waiting to hear. Divine mind, spirit, universe is not waiting to hear from me because God is in and within me. God knows, divine mind, whatever name or no name you choose to call that energy, already knows what I need and what I am seeking before I even say or consciously meditate upon it. And the infinite God isn't responding to my prayer, but is expressing through it, expressing through my consciousness, my awareness. And I realize now that prayer isn't a transaction. It's not quid pro quo. Hey, God, I'll do this if you do that, or I won't do this if you do that. It's a revelation. It's a revelation that comes through me to see and to realize. Even our other co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore of Unity, said, prayer is not to change God, but to change ourselves to that God's perfect plan may be fulfilled in us. Because many of us feel that our purpose here is what is ours to do. What is God, divine minds? What is the purpose to act in, through, and as me? So how do we recognize when prayer is answered? Does it always come in the form in which it is, that we've asked for it? I mean, is it like, do we say, in a box, I don't want this job, I want that job. I don't want to be by myself anymore, I want that person. Or do we release and open up and let God, the universe, unfold? There are at least 3 signs, I believe, that prayer has been answered. One is inner peace, that just through the prayer and meditation, particularly when I have connected, it's like Jesus says, go into the inner chamber where you are connecting. I feel calm. I can feel a calm come over me, even before I see any outer change. And it can be amazing because it may not be outer change for a while, or maybe it'll never be outer change. But that peace and that calmness just changes everything for me. Could be divine ideas. Do I receive new insight, which then shifts my perspective? Have you ever sat in silence or meditation, walked in nature, or maybe you just having a moment that all of a sudden something you've been working on or dealing with or trying to resolve, the answer comes right there. And you're like, wow, that was so simple. To me, that is God, divine mind, providing that to me, and I am being receptive to hear it, to accept it, and to go forth with it. And then there are times when there is an outer expression where all of a sudden, and I say all of a sudden because I think there's grace, there's creation, there's faith, things are happening we never know about. But doors open, opportunities align with what we wanted, or our needs are met. And sometimes the answer is not what we expected, it may be better. And I think that's why I'm saying I learned a long time ago, don't put it in a box. Just put it out there and know that it will happen in the best way. One of the many lessons I've had of this in my real life has been many years ago, I was elected to the New Jersey State Legislature for 3 terms. And I always felt that when you are elected to office, you get in, you do some good things, and you leave. To me, that's the difference between an elected official and a politician. So I wanted to be an elected official and do that. And so in my 3rd term, I started getting this feeling it was time for me to do a little something else. So one of my ways of praying and meditation was I took my journal out, and I wrote down in a list the things I enjoyed about being a legislator and would want to continue to do, and then maybe some things I would like to release. But I wanted to be the voice for others who didn't have a place at the table, but also to provide resources that people could choose to empower themselves. Interesting how I end up here doing this, right? And so I just wrote it in there, and I let it be. A few days later, I was at a press conference with then Governor Florio, state of New Jersey. We were at a press conference regarding assault weapons. And as we finished, he said, can you come down to Trenton and visit with me in my office in the next few days? And I'm like, sure. So when I go, he tells me, out of the blue, I would like for you to join my gubernatorial cabinet as the State Commissioner of the Department of Community Affairs. I stood like this because in my mind, I was seeing the journal about what I wanted, and it had the Division on Women, Community Affairs. It's the State Department that provides the tools by which communities and people can empower themselves. And he said, well, and I said, yes. I never would have imagined that that opportunity would have opened up. But I went in knowing that the best position and opportunity would. So what I have learned, even when things look bad, even if there have been times that you had to leave a job because it wasn't working and you didn't know where you were going next, it always ended up that I was lifted towards my highest good. And I would venture to say that's true for you too. So in Unity, we basically pray affirmatively. And if you come to the workshop on Zoom next Saturday, we'll get more into this and you'll be able to use it for yourselves. We begin by relaxing, where we quiet our minds. We concentrate on an affirmation such as I'm whole, God is my source, there's only one presence, whatever. And then we go into the silence. I like to think of we're going into while we're listening, that when we're doing an affirmation, we're speaking with God, divine mind and such. When we go into the silence, we're listening. And then we realize that that which we are seeking, we are basically claiming, and it already exists. And because we know that, as Charles Fillmore said, when you go in believing it already has happened, we give thanks. We let go and trust. And because we also know that gratitude is going to energize. So I suggest, maybe try this for your daily practice. Let it become part of your language of life. So now let's give it a try. What I'd like to do is lead us in a meditation. So let's begin by taking a deep breath in and slowly releasing. Again, breathe in deeply and let it go. Feel your body soften. Feel your shoulders drop. And feel your heart begin to open. Scan your body from the top, your forehead, your jaws, your neck, your shoulders, releasing any sort of stress or negative energy or tightness, and let it go. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes or lower your gaze and come here, right here, in this moment. There's nothing you need to fix, nothing you need to chase, nothing you need to earn. You are already one with God, and in this oneness, your prayer is already answered. So let us enter into the stillness now. As you breathe gently, turn your awareness inward. Let your mind rest. Let your heart open. There is a presence within you. It is steady. It is wise. It is loving. This presence knows no fear, no doubt, no lack. It is the Spirit of God alive in you. Allow this truth to rise in your awareness. God in me is greater than anything I face. God in me is greater than anything I face. All that I need is already present in spiritual form. All that I need is already present in spiritual form. Repeat inwardly with me. I am safe. I am guided. I am supplied. I am one with the answer. Let those words sink into your being. Now bring to mind a situation or intention you've been praying about, not with worry, but with calm awareness. See it gently in your heart. Now imagine placing it into the hands of the divine, releasing the need to control it, letting go of the outcome, trusting that Spirit knows the path to your highest good. As you surrender it, affirm, divine wisdom is at work now. The answer is unfolding in perfect order. And so you rest, you receive, you trust. Now imagine light, golden, gentle, glowing, flowing over this situation, not fixing it, but revealing what has always been true, that love is present, that peace is possible, that God is already there. Let your heart fill with gratitude, not for what might happen, but for what already is in spirit. Whisper to yourself, thank you, God. It is done. And so it is. And as we begin to return, take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Begin to bring awareness back to your body, wiggling your toes and your fingers, coming back to this space, back to this moment, as we listen to this beautiful music.
We're all in this life together, living a mystery. Our days are touched by joy, touched by pain. Asking why, longing for meaning, searching for hope, searching for who I've come here to be. We all need a prayer. Our hearts are yearning for the truth. When we feel alone, when we can't find our way, the answers are right here. We stand before an open door. We all need a prayer to remind us who we are. Somehow we keep forgetting, lost in the shadow, holding broken hearts, broken dreams. Love is there, grace in the presence, standing in truth, standing in power, one with the one. We all need a prayer. Our hearts are yearning for the truth. When we feel alone, when we can't find our way, the answers are right here. We stand before an open door. We all need a prayer to remind us who we are. Open now and feel your heart. The power is in answers are all here. We stand before an open door. We all need a prayer to remind us who we are.
And thank you again, Kate and Jerry. So beautiful, beautiful. So as you go forth in your day, know that you do not need the answer because you're already living it. And whether you are praying in designated time, which I think is always great for prayer and meditation, I suggest pray without ceasing, staying in a tune and in alignment with the God of who we are. So now, if you will, we're going to have our affirmation of abundance. And with this, if you will, from your bulletin, we'll read it through first the way it's written with me and I, and then we'll read it again using the pronouns us and we. Because we know that with our abundance, that when we share it with generosity, it enables unity and all of the teachings and the lessons and the principles that each of us benefits from, but can also share it, both here and in the community and with the world at large, that others may choose to use it to create their best and highest good. So with this, together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I have. See? And once again, divine love through us blesses and multiplies all that we give and all that we receive. And we do have, we know that some people give their, experience their generosity by leaving a check or whatever in the back or money. There's a nice little box there, as well as with various apps that are online. But I'd also ask, if you're here, I know many times I forget, and I already put mine in there. In the bulletin, there's a little card that asks, like, it says attendance. This is not like school attendance. This is just so we know that you were here, and then often if you're not here, you know, we can say, give you a call or find out, so, you know, what's happening in your life. So please feel free to drop that in the same box. As I, you know, this is a way that we know that you're present, and if you are joining us online now, or later during the week or at some time, if you leave a comment, that enables us to know that you joined us and to embrace and thank you so much for being here with us. So now we will sing I Choose Love, which is on the back of the cream color sheet, followed by our prayer for protection, which is in our bulletin.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. is what we're made of. I choose love. We are all part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
And now, as we say the prayer for protection, the light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. And wherever we are, God is. And where God is, all is well. And this week, claim, I trust divine order. I affirm my good. I give thanks that it is already done, because in truth it is. Go forth and bless your week.
What if a prayer is not a plea, a desperate call with tears that fall on bended knee, but breathing out and breathing in, it's God in me that lives and breathes, my trusted friend. My life is a prayer that God is praying. My thoughts are words that God is saying. My laughter is the sound of angels playing. My life is a prayer that God is praying. What if today I had the chance to move and sway? God leads the way in my life stance. What if I knew without a doubt, no need to fear, God's right here, within, without. My life is a prayer that God is praying. praise.